Hello, welcome to another video from betfairtradingcommunity.com. Today we're going to work out what should you choose, set and forget betting or Betfair Trading. If you've ever found yourself stuck between placing a simple bet and actively managing trades on Betfair, then this video is for you. That's the reason we're doing this. I'm going to break down 3 pros and cons of each topic and each approach so you can make a smart, profitable decision based on your goals. So let's get into it, okay? Part 1. What is set and forget betting? As the name suggests, you place your bet and you walk away. No need to stare at the screen. You don't have to make live decisions in play. Just trust your strategy and let it play out. And that is purely and simply set and forget betting. It's what you might think of as traditional betting or gambling, where you'd go into a bookie's, place a bet, and you'd come back, maybe the next day, collect your winnings if you won, or if not, you tear that bet slip up. And if you're anything like me, throw it in the bin in an angry manner. But yeah, here's the pros of set and forget betting. Number 1, simplicity. It's perfect if you're short on time. You just place your bets, close your laptop, or in my case, just turn off your PC, get on with your day, live your life. Number 2, it's emotion free. Okay. Now, what I mean here is whilst the bet is in play, because you're not watching the market live, there's less temptation to react emotionally or second guess yourself by placing bets in play that kind of contradict your original theory. You might have placed a bet with all the good intentions and doing all the right research and placing it on a value selection, and then you go and watch that selection go, let's say it's football, go 1-0 down. And you start getting stressed and you go, oh no, I need to back the team that's winning now to try and recover the money. And you back the team that you weren't going to back originally, you chase a loss, but you hadn't even lost. The bet hadn't even lost yet. And then the team you originally bet on go on to win the match 2-1. And you end up losing more money because you've just lumped on a team that's already 1-0 up when actually you've made the right decision in the first place. And we see that a lot with Betfair traders who are starting out on their Betfair trading journey. And number 3, it's scalable. Okay, you can run multiple bets across different sports or leagues without needing to monitor them all in real time. What this means is that you can actually place more bets during the day. Now, I wouldn't say that this is a positive in terms of where you could just scattergun bets here, there, and everywhere. But when you do spot value, you can take advantage of it. You don't have to worry about, oh yeah, but will I be in at so and so time, and will I be here to trade it live? So they're the pros. 3 really good pros: simplicity, emotion free, and it's scalable. I'm going to get onto the cons of set and forget betting now. Okay, number 1, no live edge. You miss out on in-play opportunities. Sometimes the game gives you a clear signal, hey, I should cash out here, or it's gone my way. Yeah, I'll take the profit now. But with this method, you're blind to it. You can't take that profit now. And there's situations where you watch sport, you place a bet, and you see that your bet is doing well, it's gone to plan, and then suddenly, maybe you switch off, go make your dinner, you come back and you realise you've lost because you didn't actually cash out. And if you'd have just taken that cash out instead of trying to be greedy and getting a couple of quid more, you would have won your bet. So that is a real downside, that there's no live edge, there's no adjustments you can make if you are just set and forget straight betting. Number 2, it takes longer to refine. Since you're not watching how your bets perform live, it can be harder to learn and improve your edge quickly. And I think this is a really key point that a lot of people overlook. When we're trading, when we're betting on Betfair, we're looking to refine, we're looking to improve who we are as Betfair traders, right? That's the reason you're watching this video. Most people don't watch videos like this. Think of the amount of people that trade on Betfair compared to the amount of people that actually bother even to just watch a training video like this, and you realize, oh, actually, yeah, it's a tiny percentage of the market that actually even bother to train themselves in Betfair trading. So as you're not watching it live, you're not able to refine your strategy as much. And remember, refining your strategy is very important. Number 3, there is a risk of overconfidence. just because you forget the bet doesn't mean the risk disappears. So what I mean by this is, with when you're doing straight betting like this, you can get downswings and they can feel more violent because essentially you're never trading out. So if you have a run of 10 losses in a row, that's 10 stakes in a row that you've lost. That is 10 full bets, right? Because we're not trading out of it. So you've got to be able to kind of stomach that, prepare your bankroll properly for that. And a lot of people don't and aren't able to do that. And they get overconfident, they win a couple of bets. Oh, look how my bank's increased. Then they up their stakes and they have a bad run. Don't know how to handle it, start chasing losses and lose money. Overconfidence nearly always leads to someone making a stupid mistake. And you could probably put that into real life as well as Betfair Trading. So yeah, they're the three downsides. No edge in play. It takes you longer to refine your strategy through kind of trial and error methods, and you can get overconfident with it. So let's get on to Betfair Trading, right, which is kind of the meat of what I love about Betfair, the ability to trade. Now, Betfair Trading is a different beast to set and forget betting. You're not betting on an outcome so much as you're betting with the market. Okay, you're trying to buy low, sell high, or vice versa, and ideally lock in a profit regardless of what happens. When I'm trading on Betfair, a lot of the time I don't need a certain outcome to happen. You know, for example, let's say I'm going for under 3.5 goals. Well, if it's 0-0 after 15 minutes, I'm going to be able to take a nice profit. And when I do, I couldn't care less if there was 7 goals for the rest of the match, and I would have lost my original bet because I've already locked in my profit. That's kind of the main difference with Betfair Trading. You're able to make those adjustments in play. It's a bit like, let's say, here's a good way I'll kind of take it. Let's take it to the stock market. It's a bit like using the stock market for sports trading, where you're able to get in and out basically whenever you want, right? But let's say on the flip side of that, you're an investor and you're just investing in funds and you're kind of letting it run. You're kind of going to just put money in every month, top it up, and just see how it goes over the next few years, but you're not going to touch the money. Well, that's almost like set and forget betting, where you're just letting it run and seeing the outcome. Let's get into the pros and let's get into the cons of Betfair Trading. Number one, more control. Okay, it's good to have control over what you're doing in a market which can be unpredictable. What I mean by this is that we know that things can happen in football that you can't really predict. So let's say a red card, and it can totally screw with how that match flow is going. One of the classic ones, that I mentioned this because I was talking about it yesterday to someone, because Arsenal are doing well in the Champions League at the moment. And I remember when they got to the final against Barcelona years ago, and there was an early red card, and it totally killed the game. It was rubbish, and I was so disappointed because I wanted to see Arsenal do well. I always tend to support the English clubs in Europe, well, to the most part, apart from teams. There's a couple I don't like, but as a Norwich fan, I'm essentially neutral in that situation. And I was disappointed because it ruined the game. But if you're betting on that game, it will ruin your trading strategy. So you'll need to work out whether you still want to stay in the market or not. And the great thing with Betfair Trading is you have the option. At that point, you can turn around and go, yeah, I'm going to exit the market because what I wanted to happen is less likely to happen now, or this red card screwed up my whole strategy. You want to have that control. Number two, kind of opposite to the number two of the last one, faster learning curve. Because you're involved during the match, you learn much quicker what works and what doesn't. And I'm sure a lot of you watching this right now are thinking to yourselves, yeah, that's right. Because you've probably had situations like I've had many times where you're watching someone in play and you think, oh, this is going to happen, or oh, it looks like this is going to happen, and then it doesn't. Or you think something's not going to happen, then it does. The good thing with watching in play is you can make these adjustments in real time. And if you need to adjust, you might just find a situation where you placed a bet pre-match thinking, well, this thing is going to happen. And then you're watching the match going, do you know what? Actually, I don't think I was right. I think I was wrong. And the brilliant thing with Betfair Trading is you can correct your errors, okay? Now, you've got to obviously be careful. You don't want to be overcorrecting to the point that if you weren't making errors in the first place. But there will be games where you watch it and go, oh, wait a second. One team is much stronger than the other here. the match that springs to mind for me, PSG versus Liverpool, where PSG were just totally dominant in that tie, and Liverpool were just shadowed themselves. I don't know what happened to them that day, but if you'd backed Liverpool, you could have looked at that situation and gone, I could get out here relatively scot free before PSG scored. Now, I mean, it's not the best example to use because Liverpool ended up winning the game, but in terms of value and watching the match, I'd say probably 9 times out of 10, that match would have ended in a PSG win. So you'll probably think of some examples yourself that are better than that. I hope you can. But the point is that it's so good to be able to learn in play, see what's happening, adjust to that, learn how the markets work, learn when you should follow your instincts and what you're seeing and when you shouldn't. These are really good skills that are very, very hard to teach. The best way sometimes with Betfair Trading is to get stuck in, use it, and see how you get on. And number three, I mean, the most obvious one, you can make a profit no matter what happens. So you don't need to pick a winner. In fact, most of us aren't very good at picking winners. That's the reason why most bettors and gamblers lose money. But you can profit from market movement rather than who wins. So, and a lot of the best Betfair traders in the world, that's what they do, isn't it? They get in and out of markets, sometimes multiple times during an event, and they'll make money on it. And they couldn't care less who actually wins in the end, because that's not what they're betting on at that moment. They're betting on, essentially, you're betting on what happens next. It's a bit like that, ever watch Question of Sport where they had that what happens next section? Well, it's a bit like this. You are betting on whatever happens next. So you can profit on market movement like odds drifting and shortening without caring who wins, and that can be a really good thing. Okay, let's get on to the cons of Betfair trading. Number one, it's time insensitive. Look, you're going to need to be at your computer. Now, I understand, right? I use bots for horse racing in particular, and a lot of people use bots for football as well. You can use automation, and that does help you a lot with time. And if you ever need any advice or help with that, you can check out videos I've done on that, or you can ask me a question about it and I will help you. But it's not great if you've got a full-time job and a family, is it? Because if you're having to sit in front of your screen the whole day, one of the things I do with a lot of my strategies is figure out how can I spend less time in front of my screens. But it can be time insensitive, so you have to be aware of that if this is something you're interested in. Number two, it can be emotionally draining. You've got to be harder in a way, because if you're going to sit and watch something unfold and it unfolds the way you didn't want it to unfold, you're going to have to sit and brace that, because if you're trading in play, that's what you're going to have to do. So that can lead to kind of excitement or stress or over trading, chasing losses if you're not disciplined. So the emotional drain is real. And number three, it's tech heavy. And to trade well, you do need good software, okay? Ideally, you need a software like BetfairTradingCommunity.com's football software, where you can create strategies, get your selections for the day, work on your shortlists, etc., etc. But you're also going to need some fast internet. You're going to need a strategy based on real data. Again, we can provide this for you at betfairtradingcommunity.com, because one thing we do is that we actually do give out a free strategy when you join. We give you a strategy to work with, and we kind of get alongside you and help you with that so that you know what you're doing. But it can be a learning curve, and we want people to learn to trade for themselves. We want you to get in a position where you can create your own strategy at betfairtradingcommunity.com. That's exactly what we're all about. So you kind of have to be like, yeah, I'm up for that. I want to learn. I want to train as a Betfair trader, and essentially that's one of the things that you're going to have to do if you want to do Betfair trading. So let's conclude on this. So I know I've been talking a while, but I think it's a really, really good subject to cover. Which is better, set and forget betting or Betfair trading? Honestly, it depends on you. Like, I cannot tell you which method to follow. Hopefully, my pros and cons will have helped you with that. But I'm going to give you a couple of kind of ideas and questions to think about for yourself right now that should help you with that. So if you want a low effort, stress-free approach and are happy with long-term gains, set and forget might be your style. Okay, because the reality is that if you just kind of run it, if you've got a strategy that's profitable, you should be able to just place those bets and make money in theory. Now, the flip side of that is, but if you enjoy that action, you want more control. A lot of us are control freaks. I'm probably a control freak myself, and are ready to put time in. Betfair Trading offers faster feedback and more flexibility. Okay, so that's something that, if that's something that appeals to you, Betfair Trading might be more your call. Now, personally, I think the best traders master both, and they know how to do both. And I definitely use a mixture of both in my trading. In fact, most of my actual trading is automated now, to the point where a lot of the other betting I do would be set and forget betting, especially on the football. But you need to pick the right tool for the job for you. Now, at Betfair Trading Community, we help you create football strategy as for yourself to trade on, to get your selections from each day. Cuts out hours and hours of research, but also means you can start to create strategies, test them, develop them, work on them in that way. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure you go to betfairtradingcommunity.com and check that out. If you're already a member and you're watching this and you haven't been given your football strategy, get in touch with us. We'll sort that out for you and we'll get you that strategy over to you. But yeah, I mean, the nice thing is that on Betfair Trading Community, we cater to both kind of fields, both theories perhaps of philosophy of Betfair. So if you want to just place bets, that's great. You can do that with software. And if you want to do trading, you can also do that with the software. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, do all those good things, because that means that A, you get to see this video put in front of you again when we create new ones, but also B, it allows other people to find this Betfair training. And like I say, so few people on Betfair actually bother to do any training that it's shocking. And anyone we can help, we really want to. If you want to get in touch with anything and you're not sure how, just find me an email, info@betfairtradingcommunity.com. I know a lot of you guys do that, and that's brilliant. Or just comment on this video and I'll get back to you, and we can chat from there. All right, everyone, hope this has helped you. Let me know, do you want to do set and forget betting, or do you prefer Betfair Trading? I'm really interested actually to hear your opinions on this. What is your favorite thing to do on Betfair? All right, everyone, have a great week. And of course, I hope you make some money trading on Betfair.